Our director, Lucrecia Martel, she actually really explained quite well what all her films are all about. So they talk about a specific kind of society in Argentina, which is the bourgeoisie and so middle class, and and how they're really trying to cover up how they got this impunity. They are not accountable for what they're doing, either because of the dictatorship or because the way they are. And I think this is the main subject of her films. But of course, she's very original. She's so incredibly original, the way she portrays everything. Everything, it's a slow burner, because at the very beginning you don't understand what's going on, and then little by little you just kind of, there is a build up to where she's going to. But yeah, I just want to hear, what's your feedback?
I was not sure what was going on. But then hints, bits by bits, I was like constructing. Really nice.
I found this film very interesting, very amazing, actually. So, because at the time now, it's actually quite fits a bit into the element at the moment about anxiety, depression, mental health, and hallucinations, and there's also the unconsciousness in there as well, conscious and unconsciousness. And it's quite remarkable, actually. And I got confused at the beginning. So it's very strange beginning, but sort of like when it gets on, and it's quite mellow, you can actually see the scenes. Absolutely goes with the scene accordingly. And the amazing is just the close shots. The close shots is actually there. You actually think you actually really in there. You actually feel a bit the inside of it, and it's just it was a bit, but I got a bit confused in the middle of it. So later on, with the hotel rooms, later on, and this actually turns out later on was actually the hallucination actually for that. So, and it's quite amazing. Well, it's brilliant, actually, brilliantly made.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's very claustrophobic, because there's never, like, the very few panoramic scenes, in which you actually see the outside. Maybe when they go to buy, all the garden at the garden center, they buy vases and etc. You see a bit of the outside, or at the very beginning. But most of the time, there's like people one on top of each other, one kind of stifling each other. So it's a very claustrophobic movie. But that's, I guess, what she really wants to represent. Yeah. What about you, Alessandra? You've seen all of the Lucrecia Martel films?
Yes, and I was thinking that in this film also, as in the other ones, and the two first ones, the relationship between among women is very interesting, because you can feel, like Thomas said, that proximity, the close-ups, but it's always with women, because it is as if men, they were in another world, in another universe. You can see that the women they touch, they are very near, and this is something very typical of some parts of Argentina, not the capital city, but provinces like the north of Argentina, like Salta, where Lucrecia is from. And people, you can see that they touch the teenager. She's very, like very interesting, the relationship between the protagonist and the teenager, and also all the feminine personalities are very typical of Martel and very interesting. They are like in a different plane. I don't know. I like that very much. And also the process of the protagonist, the guilt, the breakdown. You can see that very near. I admire Martel very much in that sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, the bonding between the female group, and it's very strong, and also there are lots of them, you know, compared to men. Men basically this husband, you know, it's just very awkward, you know, very you know, just doesn't really relate to her that much, and also this lover who's also a cousin, if I understood correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, these two men that are actually, yeah, as she was saying in her dream, you know, when she explained the dream, they're basically people that are not going to, they're going only to cover up everything. They're not even thinking for once, you know, to go to the police, to look for this poor guy, little boy, and you know, they're just thinking, oh, how can we get away?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yes.
Just leave there. There is I just want to add something with Alexandra. Is I would say is in all Latin America there is like a like lack of decisions and voice for women, and now lately there has been like a great revolution of like voice women. And it's really powerful. It's starting in Chile and spreading out.
You're from Chile.
No, I'm Colombian, but
Colombian. Okay.
yeah, I'm Colombian, but pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. It happens like obviously, yeah, women are like. Today I was reading an article about wages and salaries in Colombia that have the same. Obviously, wages for men are higher than women, and that's like. In all Latin America.
I just want to know actually, because the film started with what's her name? Vero?
Vero.
Pero,
She had blonde hair, and then towards the end she changed her hair.
Yeah.
So what does that actually say? What does that actually say then? It starts with blonde hair all the way through, then towards the end.
I would say
slightly your life back together again, in a sense, when then you figure it out, and then you change.
I would say that's an expression of the change of the personality through the film. So you'll always have the protagonist arc, and then she realized that there are some changes around, that they are hiding stuff, that the reality is not what is real, and then she creates she tries to transform like with her mind as well. So her hair changed. She changed her hair basically. I think
from being completely unreal, like a Marilyn Monroe in Argentina, she becomes a real person, you know, just getting her hair back.
But is that? I mean, is that like? It's like you know, when you watch any kind of movie and you find there's an incident that strikes somebody, and they start to feel psychologically bad about what happened, possibly, or not sure what happened. They kind of just change their whole personality. There's quite a few movies where that happens, where they maybe change their appearance, you know, all kinds of different things. So I'm just wondering, is that really a kind of cultural thing, or is that more of a an overall thing in people's minds and personalities, and how they handle things that happen that they're not sure of their control of?
I think she's really trying to underline the fact that the order, it's not in order. So in the sense that, you know, it's very chaotic, you know, the kind of environment, the kind of atmosphere that, you know, sometimes it's a bit like unbreathable, you know, it's like, you know, she's stifling inside, you know, what she's doing, or her family. And so, yeah, that's basically, you know, the portray of her society. I think that the director has been very consistent in all the films that she made, even if they change subject, you know, like La Ciénaga and then Zama, because she tries always to create some kind of different expectation. So it's not like the narrative is not a continuous one. It's a bit, you know, like a stop and a start and stop continuously. And this is the same that happens in this film, but using this kind of style, this kind of rhythm, shows you lots of different items, lots of different identities, you know, in which people can hide. So that's, I think, what's the interesting question is that, you know, the many identities of this woman. You know, she could be a killer because she was in the car and she hit maybe a boy, or yeah, and she could be a mother, she could be a lover, she could, so all these identities in one. So that's I think.
Yeah, one of the biggest things in the film, it's like as we see the film through Veronica's eyes, we saw many shots from behind her, and we see her, like as Thomas said earlier, we see many close-ups, and we see like, I don't know if I can do like many many close-ups like that, and then we see from her point of view, and then we see a lot of rain, a lot of dark, sometimes shiny, sometimes sunny, sometimes colorful, sometimes lack of color. And yeah, it's just like another representation of how she see, and as you say, like different personalities, and how the director construct all these different moods or personalities.
Yeah, it's really like a mood board, basically. You know, it's like
and also that Christian mentioned the weather, the water, the oppressive sensation of the climate, the
much rain.
Cold, yeah, the each time they pass near that thing, the canal, I don't remember how to say it in English, the channel, the river.
Yeah.
The channel is very full. They mention the water all the time. It's like water is something that make a lot of pressure, you know. It collaborates with the feeling of oppression of the whole film, I feel.
When she driven over it, when she had the accident, and she stood and she sat down in the car and everything there, and then later on she decided to move on. And you could see the dog behind it in a very, very far away between the mirror.
Yeah.
And then she walked, she drove further, then she stopped, get out, then suddenly it rained. You see actually before she stopped, you see the window. I don't know if you looked quite easy. You look the window, it's like hands.
Yes.
Yeah, and fingerprints.
Yes.
And you actually think
like
because I thought myself, is that maybe a dog, or could that be maybe a human a bit further up? You could see actually it's an animal or so, but actually you weren't quite sure actually. So
yeah.
You know, I thought because she went to the school just before she started driving, and so she had the kids and they put the hands. Yeah, I noticed that. I actually, you know, took a note and say, you know, that I wanted to talk about this, but then we froze. No, we're back. Okay. So yeah, I just I thought it was really fantastic, because with that again was a big contrast between what she just did, you know, like hitting somebody, a dog, a boy, and then having, you know, these hands on fingerprints on the window.
That's really good constructed, because as I guess we all agree. I mean, we all like nothing, because that was like the accident, and then we saw the marks, and so clear, and yeah, it's so great. Well, there is another thing then with the water, because the very first scene we see was the three teenagers running in the dry channel in a sunny day. Yeah. So I kind of had the feeling that like she's like sinking in water, like we know.
Yeah, she did a very good build up, you know, almost like a Hitchcock, like, you know, a good build up of what's going to happen.
Then you go straight to the kids. Then you go back on the I think on the playground where the mothers pick up their children.
Yes.
And then kids go in the car and things like this, and drive on. And just hold on. There's not something wrong here. Could it maybe one of the kids, one of the boys you see before? Because actually they were playing by the canal. You can actually see the way thingy. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
But as the car is moving, we don't really see the marks. We see the marks once she brakes. and
Right.
obviously we see the difference
By the
of
window, yeah.
color. And after we see the dog, I had the feeling that I had like a different marks.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, very well constructed.
Yeah, no, very. Yeah, I thought that actually. I mean, I know her, but I didn't see this film, so I saw it today, and yeah, I was really very surprised by the craftsmanship. The fact that she was in control of everything, every single element, and every layer of the film, and yeah, it's definitely a film really well done. Absolutely.
It's a very simple life they showed, a very, very simple life. Not like a very glamorous way. You see a lot of films where people have nice houses and things like this. This is very down to earth, absolutely down to earth. Where really
Yeah, there was no luxury. Now, if we're talking about bourgeoisie, which usually in Argentinian films that I've seen, they really show huge villas, like with really incredible furniture, etc. Yeah, it was kind of play down everything, but at the same time, you knew they've got privilege.
Yeah, the wealthy family in Wild Tales is wealthy. They have like a really huge house, very luxury. But this one, yes, as you say, Paula, is not like huge difference.
Yeah. So there were things that were, the more you analyze it, and there were differences. So it was more the atmosphere, the fact, for example, that she was sleeping at like one single bed in a very small bedroom. That also I thought, it's like, and then she slept in the hotel because she was waiting for her lover. But then also, her own house, she was basically staying in a very small space, very contained.
Yeah. I have another like a question or comment to make. If someone knows or had the same feeling, because of the many of the things that was happening at the beginning, like we saw the three teenagers, then the school scene, then the accident, then she goes to the hospital. I was a bit confused, and I think we all have the same confusion. So I don't know if it will be like, didn't you feel like you wanted to know more about the story or about Veronica?
Yeah, but I guess that since her case, it's about like she's like a bit of a amnesia. She doesn't remember things. She doesn't, so she doesn't really, they don't really show what she's up to or what her real identity. Anybody has any idea?
I have the feeling that, as well as we saw it through her films, through her eyes. Sorry, through her eyes. So we have this feeling of being confused, or forgetting things, seeing the things differently.
Thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you very much. Thank you for actually showing that film. It really inspired me actually to want to look some more. So it's actually, I never thought actually film. I'm an independent. I like independent films anyway. So I like to watch independent movies because you learn a lot from them. How you can actually look the inside and the inside. It's not and it's just like really interested in me as well there. So.
Yeah. No, we'll continue during lockdown, and anyway, during this time we need to go. We need to be digital, but of course we had an event just last October about Finland, and that was a live event at the Cinema Genesis. So we hope in the next few months we might go back to cinema. But meanwhile, we'll be all together on this Cineclub. So just follow us.
Paola, are there the next films? BFI Films as well? Or...
Yes, it's I'm using it as a streaming platform because they got an incredible collection of good films from all over the world.
And then so far it's gonna be three. We have like every month Argentina and Ireland, and then any plans for after, Paola? Or...
Yeah. Well, we got actually at the beginning of December we're going to have Finland again. So we're Argentina, Finland, and then I can't tell because we're still working on other countries. So, but as soon as I've got the news, I'm going to tell. Thank you so much again for being with us, and I hope to see you soon.